Knowledge is the only thing that can raise a person to a heightened level of consciousness and enlightenment. Greetings and salutations. My name is Queen Ayana. Welcome to the Kaumba Media Television Network. The goal of KMT is to raise the level of knowledge and awareness among our viewers. We seek to accomplish this by presenting our viewers a diverse array of video offerings on topics and subjects not available on mainstream television. Periodically, we will present various videos and programs covering many interesting topics. KMT assumes no responsibility for the expressed statements, views, and/or opinions, so please sit back and enjoy the program. Asante Sana.
We are resurrecting the traditions of our ancestors and apply them to our contemporary condition. We are resurrecting the tradition of Montu, the ancient Kemetic nectar of warrior arts, military culture, and science. In Waset, or what is called Thebes, was the center of the house of Amen, the house of Mut, and the temples of Montu. We here this morning are resurrecting this tradition. Spirit, intellect, and action. Spirit, intellect, and action. We're here today at the University of Laverne, May 18th, 2003. And Brother Kaka, my brother, fellow brother from the East Coast, has decided to join us this morning. We welcome his presence this morning. We thank him for being here and documenting this historical moment. Basically, we're going to do what we normally do in the mornings. Is our ritual, our drumming, chanting, prayer, then we'll move into some study. So I want to send a peace and blessings, and I want to greet you how we greet you in our temple and in our school. We got Brother Metape.
You are better than me.
Come on, no, I mean play.
Yeah, I play.
We have Brother Metape who's now taking over the drum. Brother Metape is a civil engineer as well as a computer engineer. The brother is from Togo. So we're incorporating a Pan-African orientation, not only Africans from the U.S. Brother Metape is with us.
And I'm his daddy.
This is my daughter, Naila.
Daddy, you're trying to get me off the camera.
Brother Metape, if you're thinking Brother Metape's name, it may have a familiar resonation with him.
Yeah.
Metape is actually Amenhotep. When I met Brother Metape, he told me, do you know that my name is after the ancient Subati, the ancient king, Amenhotep? The Kemetic names, our brothers and sisters in Togo and Ghana and Benin, Senegal, they continue to carry the names of our ancestors. And Metape, his name, is a derivation of Amet Amenhotep.
Daddy, you're cute. Let's go.
of our moon spoke to me in trance.
Yeah, me too.
It said, resurrect the tradition of our moon. Resurrect the tradition of Kush. This is what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Many of us focus on Kemet, and rightly so. Kemet was a fantastic civilization. But Kemet was spawned from Kush, from Nubia, the Sudan. And the most powerful temple tradition in Kush was the temples of Amun, the house of Amun. Many people don't know that the Apet Usut was not only the Apet Usut in Upper Egypt or at Waset, but it was also called the Apet Usut at what is now the Gebel Bakal, the holy mountain of Amun, in the third and fourth cataract in the heart of the Sudan. And what is ironic is that the current Islamic government now is suppressing and repressing and annihilating the descendants of those people, the Nuba people who have preserved the wrestling tradition and the stick fighting and the warrior culture. It's quite unfortunate. So we have to be aware of that and write the Sudanese embassy, the Sudanese government, and raise this consciousness here in the United States about the unfair abuse of the Nuba people in the heart of the Sudan. But this morning we're simply working it out. We're just having fun. We're still a small group at this point. But size doesn't count. Our character counts. Our intensity counts. Our spirit counts. Our focus counts. Our sense of agency and urgency to represent our people, that is what counts. So again, thank you. Fellow Pennsylvania, I'm from the Pittsburgh metro area. Of course, I'm from the Philly metro area.
I'm from Chicago.
So it's good. It's good for you to be with us today.
Let us breathe deeply. Breathe in the life force. Brother Shu is with us today. Shu, breath. Energy. That healing power. Let us breathe. Let us go to the Amenta, the land of our men, the place of no thought. Let's stop thinking. Let's just be. On the exhale, it's a chant. The inhale in between.
Hail to the gods of Africa. 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 Hail to the We acknowledge the natural rule. We can continue to wise students. We acknowledge the natural rule. We acknowledge the Montu rule. Continue, drummers. We acknowledge Amen and Patah and Ra, Sia and Hu and Hekka. Thank you. are you this morning. You are the Orisha. You are Olodumare. You are Obatala. You are Babaluaye. You are Oshun. Ogun Yabaya. You are Moya. You are the Orisha. We acknowledge you this morning. Lead us and guide us. Direct us. Give us your wisdom, your insight, your courage, your boldness. Allow us to plan and build and create, institute and define for African people. Allow us not to be afraid to go forth in strength. Keep us unified and organized, and allow us to proclaim our truth to our people and throughout the world. This is what we affirm this morning. We thank you for our limbs, the mobility of our hands and our feet, the power of breath. We thank you as you come in and as food, crops, and agriculture, giving us the intellect to build machines and buildings and structures. We acknowledge you this morning. And then we acknowledge the Shamsu, the Abosun, the Agungun, our ancestors, those whose blood flowed through our veins, those that bestowed a legacy upon us that we may fulfill it. Those that died, those that were hung, those that were murdered and castrated and beat down the streets, those that sung spirituals on the plantations, those that jumped in the Atlantic, we remember them. Those who marched and protested and sang, we remember them. We remember them. Not only do we remember them, but we are them. We affirm this in the Amen. As gossiping, backbiting will come against us. That's right. But we are the sovereign ones, and we have the essence of Ka in us. In fact, we are the essence of Ka. We are the sovereign ones. Oh, at Kebra, you are no thing that you're being and the transformation of me. Oh, at Kebra, you are Volume 2, to understanding classical Nile Valley philosophy, theology, cosmology, and cosmogony. Not necessarily for history or linguistics. That's not to say that he's not aware of those topics, but the Meta-Narrative Volume 1 and Meta-Narrative Volume 2 does not focus on historical study or linguistic study, which has really been the emphasis here in LA. I was thinking a lot about this, the differences in traditions according to regions and so forth. And I was just thinking how LA was really influenced by Kwesi, Renoko Rashidi, Richard King, Charles Prince was here for a while, and then ASCAP. ASCAP was founded here in LA in 1984. So there has been an emphasis really on historical study. But in my opinion, not a great deal of emphasis on understanding the cosmology and metaphysics and the ritual.
Yeah, there was the Aquarian Center.
Yeah, the Aquarian Center was probably one few centers that did it. And even there, I'm not judging, but even there they call themselves black Gnostics and were appropriated. That's where Dr. Charles Finch's book, African Origins of Biological Psychiatry, he mentions the Aquarian Center and the black Gnostics there and so forth. But even there, it's devoid of ritual. It's devoid of ritual and it's devoid of the meditation and trance practices that you see in African traditional culture, which is the strength of Basar Set. The strength of Basar Set is, and Majani said this to me when I first met, is their emphasis on ritual and meditation and those other practices. You'll read the Meta-Narrative Volume 1 and the Meta-Narrative Volume 2, and you would barely come across any historical figures mentioned. It's mostly a metaphysical and philosophical articulation of the Netter root, or the Montu root. That's what it is, basically, and how to apply those.
I like when I was studying this weekend a book called African Pedagogy, but it was saying merely to give teaching history, you miss it. It's the cultures and exchange and
Exactly.
exchange that is, didn't say more important. They said history wasn't important, but it was that tension in between there.
Exactly, and that's the comment that Shechem makes in the introduction to Volume 1. He says exactly that, Lawson. He says, I could record all of the data and all the names. I could run down, well, Menhotep I founded the 11th dynasty in 2000-something BCE. He said, but isn't it a greater sign of intelligence to replicate his practices, his culture, than to simply say, well, he lived 2100 BCE, somewhere around in there. So that's the emphasis he made. His emphasis is it's not enough to record the historical data and not understand the culture and the ritual practices behind the data and so forth. So this is why. So I just want to turn your attention, because I was thinking about that. To if you look in your blue reader. And actually, I wanted us to finish the Luckert arc, but maybe I'm rethinking. Go to where you see in your reader. It's going to be after Diop's article.
What page? In front, middle, back?
It's going to be in the middle of the book. It's after the Shechem to Diop articles, and you'll see it says Meta-Narrative Volume 2.
What page?
They're not in page number, but it's going to be after page 311 of the Diop article. After page 311 of the Diop article.
Keep on making your rice until you see some basketballs. Yes, and then you go to that drawer.
It starts off with Egypt cosmology.
It's at the end of the Diop article. The last page of the Diop article is 311.
As a Diop article, the universe before the present universe.
school Jackson property.
Okay, yeah, there it is.
Is that it?
He said after that, and then
It'll look like this.
Oh, God, that gives us a big old clue there.
That's a big
There you go.
Yeah, I was checking that.
Okay. Actually, I thought I copied more of this. I thought I copied more of it. But anyway, you found it. It looks like this.
You got it.
Okay. Turn over to the other side.
Did you see the ball?
Actually, I thought I copied more here. But anyway, the cosmology of Anu, or what the Hebrews call On, the Greeks call Heliopolis. Right? We said this morning. The oldest religious writings in the world are known as the pyramid texts. I mean, that statement right there,
That's phenomenal.
I think that settles any debate
Mm-hmm.
with any other tradition. I mean, I think, and then especially when I look in the pyramid text and I see resurrection, I see ascension, I see eating a meal on the last day, and then on 3 days I rise to the heavens. I see sitting on the right hand of Atum and Amen and Ra. Okay, I see a ladder from Newt, and I'm climbing the ladder. I mean, if I'm seeing all these traditions that we are more familiar with them in other texts, and you all know what I'm talking about, the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament, right? If I'm seeing the stories in the pyramid text, and we know that the pyramid text is the oldest writings in the world, then I don't understand the debate. It's not a debate historically, philosophically, intellectually. Right now, it's a debate of power. It's simply power. Because the fact of the matter is that our ancestors represent the oldest religious traditions in the world. And the best, I'm going to quote Dr. Ben, the best that you see in Islam, the best that you see in Christianity, the best that you see in Judaism, or any other tradition for that matter, it was already in Kemet thousands of years ago. But we all know this. They involve the Kemetic belief concerning God and man. In their earliest forms, 3500 BC, the conception of God centered around its omniscience. Its omniscience, meaning its ubiquitous wisdom and knowledge. Taken to its logical conclusion, we should do nothing wrong in thought, feeling, or action, as God knows all. It's omniscient. It's everywhere, all the time, at the same time. So that means it's also us. It's also in us. So that means ultimately we can never really lie to ourselves about anything. Because the omniscience presence of the Creator is in us as well. As seeing is the dominant faculty of sense perception in man, it was used as the representative of God's omniscience, all-knowing. And that's why my brother here, Brother Kaka, has, I'm trying to see, that's the Uchak, it looks like the left, the eye of Tahuti. See the brother's shirt there. And thus, the eye was a symbol for the omniscience of the divine. This function of seeing was represented metaphorically by the falcon, the hawk, with an emphasis on its eye. In most cases, the eye of the falcon was depicted by itself. So the eye of the falcon, the eye of Haru, the eye of the hawk, is a metaphorical representation of the omniscience of the Creator. The thinking behind this selection was a simple one. Hawks have very keen sight, and they fly very high. Thus, of all the animals known to the Kama'u, they were able to take in the most through their sight. And if you ever see one driving, I see them all the time. I see them all the time. And I believe I have a special affinity with hawks.
They seem like I'm always around them, always see them. And yesterday I was driving down Montu Vista. And I know Montu Vista is wide and has an awesome panoramic view of the mountains and so forth when you're traveling north. And I'm driving, and a hawk just comes overhead. And they fly so gracefully and so beautifully. But when they're ready to seize their target, they have perfect focus. And then all of a sudden, they move from grace to power. Right? They move from grace to power and seize their target. So again, the falcon, the hawk, here in North America, we can even say eagles. Any high-flying predatorial bird, really, metaphorically speaking, could be a symbol of Haru. Although Kemet focused on the falcon and the hawk because that was the bird, the predatorial bird that was in their geo context. You see? So the predatorial birds in particular, falcons, hawks, are symbols of Haru. The falcon king, Kemet, at Efu, you see it, standing with his chest out, with the two crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt again. That's why this morning I was saying this is the day of Haru, the day of the sun, S-O-N-N-S-U-N, the day of the falcon king. Okay. We will see in the second part of this book how powerful and in fact the belief that God is watching every thought, feeling, and action can have on the spiritual development of the individual. One could not claim to believe in and to honor and respect God, yet at the same time do wrong in his presence. And I think African people in this country, we have probably unduly emphasized the dove in many respects, not always, and not enough the Haru image, the falcon image, the hawk image, and so forth. But also, the point he's making here is that even before it became a symbol of Haru, it was a symbol of the omniscience of the divine. It was a metaphor that the Creator is omniscient, that he sees all. We salute and acknowledge you this day.
We salute and acknowledge you this day.
Salute and acknowledge us this day.
Salute and acknowledge us this day.
We adore and honor you.
We adore and honor you.
Adore and honor us.
Adore and honor us.
We give ourselves to you.
We give ourselves to you.
Give yourself to us.
Give yourself to us.
That our essence may be in you forever.
That our essence may be in you forever.
That your essence may be in us forever.
That your essence may be in us forever.
That we may rise in you forever.
That we may rise in you forever.
That you may rise in us forever.
That we may rise in us forever.
This is what we ask.
What we ask.
This is what we affirm
This
to
is
be.
what we affirm to be.
Shalom tap. Go in peace.
Good afternoon, sit. When you sit, make sure you don't use your fingers. And out. Hands on your knees. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. In. Nice and slow. And out. Breathe regular. Check your posture. See the blackness within your eyes. Feel the floor on your body. Hear the sounds. Listening to my voice. Close your eyes. That blackness that's within your eyes is that black space in the universe. Maybe you see some lights on the inside of your eyes. That's the manifestations of the universe. And as you start thinking about the pictures that I'm about to impose on your mind, those pictures, if this is real, not seeing anything as if you would open your eyes. And as you look at that black space, and that picture coming into your mind, fashion atoms in that black space. You'll fashion molecules in that black space. You'll fashion tissue in that black space. So that you're able to fashion something of material value in that black space. In that black space, you're able to manifest anything and all things that you desire to manifest. Anything and all things. You could do anything that you imagine. Anything that you want to do, you could do in that black space of your imagination. Nothing is unlimited. Everything is achievable in your mind, in your imagination. At this time, I want you to imagine that you're having some type of confrontation. Of course, you will be living in harmony, living in peace, living in a fashion where you would not have to exercise self-defense methods. However, there is an occasion where you have to become that superhero. You have to bring up that Peru, that super Peru aspect in your life. Close your eyes, put your hands on your knees. Take a deep breath in and relax. You are becoming that superhero. You are able to use your body to manifest anything, any angle, any strength, any vitality, any flexibility, any stamina that's in your mind that you can imagine you can be. You can kick higher, you can run fast, you can stretch further. You're much more stronger than you can even imagine, because in your imagination, you can do anything and all things. And you're going to bring that into this reality by sculpturing your body, sculpturing your will. You must cultivate your body. This is the temple, the house of your spirit. Take a deep breath in. Relax. Today you're going to be doing some methods where you're able to not only stop an attack, but attack and take down with ease. We'll be able to not only stop an attack, but attack and take down with ease. 10. Ready?
Doing 100. We're counting. Who I assume cool. Count to 100. Comedic. Ooh-ah. Soon. Kum. Fidget. Chihuahua. Sight. Safat. Coleman. Finish that. Move. Ooh-ah. Soon. Come. Fidget. Chihuahua. Size. Safat. Coleman. Finish that. Soon. Ooh-ah. Soon. Come. Fidget. Safat. Coleman. Finish that. Come. Ooh-ah. Soon. Come. Fidget. Chihuahua. Size. Safat. Coleman. Finish that. Fake you move. Ooh-ah. Soon. Come. Fidget. Chihuahua. Size. Safat. Coleman. Finish that. Chihuahua. Ooh-ah. Soon. Come. Fidget. Chihuahua. Size. Safat. Coleman. Jet, size move, ooh ah, zoom, comb, fit you out, size, the bed, combing, jet, fat move, ooh ah, zoom, comb, fit you out, size, the fat, combing, jet, combing, ooh ah, zoom, comb, fit you out, size, the fat, combing, come on, jet, move, ooh ah, zoom, comb, fit you out, size, fat, combing, jet, ooh, ooh, ooh.
All right. What's that?
One, two. 1, 2, 3, 1.
That's one.
1,
2, 1.
About 1.5, right?
Four. I thought it was 3. No, that's 3.
Okay. How many jumping jacks did I do? Count them all. Good. Just say 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. No. Say 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
1,
2, 3. Now, how many jumping jacks did I do? 2.
Let's do that.
1, 2, 3.
2. It's 200. That's all.
Then you say 1, 2, 3.
One.
That's what I thought. I put 1, 2, 3.
What are we like doing? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, you said I'm saying. Okay, yeah, I thought you were doing that.
All right. Push-ups. Do 30, 40, 30.
Okay, are you in class? You be in class?
And I'm on swimming for rebate. Go all the way down. 30, 40, 30.
I'm going first. Ooh ah, zoom, cool, fidget, jiwao, size, safet, comb, jet, moot, ooh ah, zoom, cool, fidget, jiwao, size, safet, comb, jet, zoomut, ooh ah, zoom, cool, fidget, jiwao, size, safet, comb, jet, comb, moot.
Ready?
Begin. Come in. This is your company. Oa, Sum, Kum, Fiji, Juau, Sais, Fleck, Com, Fidjak, Moot, Oa, Sum, Kum, Fiji, Juau, Sais, Fiji, Juau, Sais, Fleck, Com, Pidijek, Kumut, Uwa, Sun, Kum, Fiju, Jualu, Sais, Sefet, Kalmi, Pidijek, Fiju Mut.
Ooh, balloons.
Ready? Ready? Begin. Wow. Nice. Coming. Picture. Hua. Soon. Did you? Wow. Nice. Come in. Picture. Sumu. Hua. Soon. Cool. Did you? Wow. It's nice. Come in. Mr. Kumu. Ua. Su. Kum. Did you? Wow. Size. Come in. Mr.
Not right now.
Third. Ua. Sun. Kum. Fiji. Juau. Sai. Sefet. Kum. Pidijek. Mut. Ua. Sun. Kum. Fiji. Juau. Sai. Sefet. Kum. Pidijek. Sumu. Ua. Sun. Kum. Fiji. Juau. Sai. Sefet. Kum. Pidijek. Kum. That's it.
I'll count the steps, so this is one step. Ready?
No, it's the last one. It's the last one. You ready?
Ooh! Cool! Tuju! Wow! Size! Cool! Come on! Ooh! Cool! Tuju! Wow! Size! Cool! Everyone sit down. Hands underneath. Put your hands on your head. Rise up. Hands on your head, go back down. Back up. Okay, everyone down here. Yeah. Start. Okay. Give me 10 push-ups over there. Learn how better how to do this now. Once you do it, another 10 push-ups over there. All right? This is what you're gonna do. Pay attention now. All right? You're gonna have your feet like so. Hands here. You're gonna roll on your shoulders. So. And then arch your back. I'm not hitting down here at all. Now if you come here, you notice I'm not hitting my chin. My head off. Pay attention. That's it. Okay. Then you hit the mat. That's it. Yeah. We're gonna do a backwards roll. Hurry up, Brother Rebe. Now we're gonna do the one hand. You're gonna do one hand now. You're gonna put your hand here. Okay, same like you did with two hands. Okay, and then you do your other hand. Okay? All right. That's it. Good. You're going over here and doing the right one. Body flat, your head to one side. You're going to touch your ear to your shoulder, bring your knees over to the other side. All right? Then you go over the other shoulder. Okay? Go ahead. Okay, you want to go backward. Hands down here. Put your ear to your shoulder. You're going to bring your knees up into your chest. Knees up. Just two knees. Straight out. Knees up to your chest. And then kick your feet. Like that. Perfect. That's it. Good. Stop. Come on, we got to get through these. This is part of flexibility. And also coordination. Come on. Once you get back here, stand in this position, or this position. No, I meant to play. You do this position, or this position. Correct. Good. Go forward. Roll. On your arm. And from here, you're going to roll on this side. Now you come up. What I want you to do is now you don't know my shoulder. I want you to work on your back. I like to go. Everyone went all the way down and up? Yeah. Okay, now you're going to do your cartwheel. You'll be facing this direction. Go. Just do your back. Yes. Come on, Uribe. Continuous. Keep going. Face this direction. On the way back. Go back. Continue. Go. That's it, brother. Don't stop your rebate, continue to go. Now come here, brother rebate. Everyone sit down for a second. Gather around, sit down. This here is the best defense of fighting is an offense, of course. So what you're going to be doing is defending an attack while attacking. All right, so relay would be attacking me, but what I'm going to do at the exact same time is attack him and go to a takedown. And you'll like this one. All right, so he's going to attack. I'm going to come in, dip down, and grab. Okay? Head behind. You want to be close. Whenever, if you were really fighting on this, you were really doing what most karate folks do, is that you would be engaging in this level of fighting, okay? Of punching and kicking and all that, all right? And that's good for that engagement. But when you get into combat, you may do something like that, okay? where we actually attack while they're attacking, kicking them in the face, kicking them here, kicking them here, coming here. All right? Or now you're coming, you're beating to the punch. Okay? That's all I want you to do for now. Huh? We'll get to the finish after we get to this phase. Right now, all you're going to do is as they come in slowly, is bend down, touch the hand that's coming to you, step in, and grab your own fingers. Just do a finger grab like this. Okay? And you're going to move off to the side. Make sure your body, your legs are bent, your head is against the person. Okay? Yeah. And get closer to it. Get closer to it. Don't be so far out. If you're far out, deliver right in. Right? My groin. But if I'm close, here. So from here, you feel a punch? See how I'm close? Yeah. And now I have this Rex move for you. Okay. Right. Move away. Oh, you back up tight. Closer. Hey, you be tight, yes. I can't feel it. Get it in the back. Make sure you're not fumbling with your hands. Just get right in. Don't be too wide. Just going in there. Just like resting out. So he's going to attack. From here, I'm squatted so I can pick him up. Right? The actual move will be here. I take you to his head. Relax. I take you to his head and follow up with the weight on his neck. Okay, that's the actual move I want to do. Okay? Right? So if he attacks, bam, I'm coming in. Bam! Here you can let him down nice and easy. Okay? Let him down nice and easy. The important part of this here is move in, position yourself properly, do not use your back. What I just say? Not use your back. Use your legs. Okay? Do not try to use your back and hurt your back. Use your legs, then tip them, bend your knees, and let them down soft. All right? Got it? Good. Coming in. Who's getting hit? Pick them up, use your legs, let them down soft. Yeah. Let's sit back. Use your legs. Pick them up. Let's go down a bit. Yeah. Do a shot. Hold on a second. Go to punch.
You're not really picking me up. I'm picking you. Good. Right.
That's gonna stick me up and down. Put my leg here.
Keep that back hand up whenever you come in. Yeah. What you're going to do is kick to the groin. Well, you're going to kick to the thigh area. Reality, you'll be kicking to the groin or to the solar plexus. Okay? But now, for training, you're going to kick to the thigh. You won't probably act. When you come in, you kick to the thigh area. And then block the blow by keeping both hands up. Okay? Okay? Don't have your hands low. Don't come in like this, right? And get clogged. So, okay. Have your hands up. Then come in. All right? You take that. Go ahead. Make sure you're in a better position. Angle yourself with your hips against his. Now, everybody. You show me over there. You want to try this? No. Just. Oh, okay. Yeah, my hips get ready. One second now, Brother Lawson. Whenever I throw the punch, he used to take me down. One common mistake is that you try to catch yourself, but whenever they're putting you down hard, when you try to catch yourself with your hand, maybe your wrist, your elbow, your collarbone, by doing this. I'm going to do it wrong now. Okay. You notice what I did, I tried to catch myself here. What happens is my whole body weight plus his weight is coming on my wrist. In addition, it's jamming my collarbone up this way. And which can make it pop. And then my elbow's going to hit. So you don't fall that way. I've instructed previous times, whenever you fall, slap off. And you don't hit your elbow or your shoulder. You do this, you just touch the mat, you fall. So now as he's taking me down, you slap off. But you don't catch yourself. You understand the difference in what I'm saying? Does everyone understand what I'm saying? You slap off, but do not catch yourself to try to prevent the fall. Allow yourself to fall. Right? Later on, after we get in this, you can start to learn how to use the ground for fighting. But we'll get into that later. So, accept the fact that you want to be on the ground at times, whenever you're countering this, right? So, slap off when you fall. Keep your hands up, Brother Lawson. That's it.
Stop. Right here.
Try not to cross your legs when you get here, get a better grab. Even if you have a pause for a second, just double clutch.
Here, you just right here. Stop it. Because if you're coming back here, I have time to react to that. You're coming from back here. This way, this way, you're stepping right in. You're right in here. Okay. Right here. Watch it.
So now doing the kick. They come in, all you're going to do is a jab. Okay? You're going to jab the left side forward, but you're going to jab but not to the face of this time, you're going to jab to the shoulder. So as he comes in to try to punch you, you're going to come and try to punch him. I'm going to jab to the shoulder. Okay? You notice that whenever someone tries to punch you, that you have to have your hands up. It's important. Part of the thing that you hear is the simple stance, being that your head is just hitting the temple. Okay, and this part here being your, like a symbol of your third eye or your crown. Okay, your chakra. So anyway, as he punches, you want to feed him to the punch. Okay, you want to go to the shoulders right now. The reality will be the chin. Both of y'all are going to jab correctly. Meaning that whenever you jab, you're going to jab stepping in, and his backhand is up, protecting your hand, your chin. So the counter to a jab, no jab. The counter to a jab is a jab. Right? But since you're able to see that they're about to attack you, you're simply just going to be quicker to the punch than they are. As soon as you see them about to punch, you're just going to come in and punch. And then drop down. All right? I'm going to jab. Okay? And here with my back leg, I'm going to dip. Got this. Okay? Go ahead. You got 10 minutes. That's it. Yeah, that's correct. The only thing is that as he threw the jab, he threw it over. I would come here. You can't, it doesn't matter. Do it again. You came here. Then came this way. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Do it again. Do it again.
Like that, and I'm coming around.
And you cut the elbow.
I put that
So you gotta
over.
go like that.
So I gotta go like, I gotta shoot it up.
Go down. So you got
Even if what happens for him, that's why I keep him out the whole time.
And that's cool. So like right there.
So even if you don't keep that, what you're doing is just, I'm getting in the pass. You gotta be quick so you don't catch the boat coming back.
Yeah, you're avoiding by going this way. You step into it, then you have to do it. Learning is part of why you learn. You just don't, you gotta get to do it. Because you know how to do this already. You see how to do it. Make sure you don't have stuff in your back. Your hands up. Because, you know, look, you're not outside. As soon as you come in, everyone stop for a second. Come here, brother. Everyone sit down for a second. Now, you got to keep your hands up. I can't overemphasize it. Because if he comes in and he's going to take me down, you see this elbow that I just fought with?
That's what happened to me and John.
Okay? You got to keep your hands up. Someone that's an in-fighter, close-in fighter, they're going to catch you. This is why I told you to just move the hand out the way. So if he throws a punch, if I throw the punch, he'll throw the jab. Now, just simply slow down. So I want to come in for me. So you're going to punch. I'm going to come here. Now, if he's able to know how to come in, fight in close, as I come in, he's going to do the elbow. Right? Yes. So I'm teaching you counters to this already. Right? But as he comes in, you're going to pass that hand and come close. So you just move it. You just check it. All right? Just check it. But it means that you have to have your hands up here. So after you throw the punch, you don't go like this. Okay? And then you go to grab. Because you're going to get caught with your hands like this. Anticipating grabbing someone. Like set. No, you don't do that. You have your hands up. And then come in and grab. Alright? Okay, 5 minutes. Continue. There you go. Perfect, Lawson. That's it.
Hetepu, peace and blessings. I want to share with you this exciting and extraordinary news about the Montu University of African Defense, located here in the Southern California area, in the Los Angeles metropolitan area. Move over basketball and the Lakers. America has another growing favorite sport, mixed martial arts. What a twist of fate. Take 4 people from different geographical areas of the country and from different generations and drop them into the same area, the martial arts community of Los Angeles, and what do you get? You get a local team representing the United States National Martial Arts Team, scheduled to compete in spring 2004 World Games in Athens, Greece. The local team members are Dr. Amasis Ma'at, Uribe Asante, yours truly, Professor Salim Faraji, and world super lightweight Jason Sterling, performing of levels of excellence extraordinaire. The World Games is a 4-day mixed martial arts tournament held in Athens, Greece, 2 months prior to the Olympic Games. According to the USA National Martial Arts Team Alliance head coach, Dr. Jim Thomas, the International Olympic Committee will observe and vote on the inclusion of mixed martial arts for future Olympic Games. The World Games provides a caliber and participation to assist in their highly anticipated evaluation. The World Games is set up like similar martial arts tournaments with divisions in white through black belt and various competitions such as sparring, forms, self-defense, grappling, breaking, and weapons. Currently, only judo and taekwondo are present at the Olympic martial arts. Hopefully, very soon, a great majority of Asian karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, as well as African martial arts and methods will be included, as well as their defense systems and other traditions from around the world. The Montu University of African Defense combines the teachings of the Black Karate Federation methods from co-founder Grandmaster Steve Muhammad and the Pokalandi Jamindi Pinjat Silat as taught by the late Guru Reli Wetzel, which are combat methods from the Badoy people, an African Malaysian tribe in Southeast Asia, as well as the Montu arts of the ancient Nubian and Kemetic temples in the Nile Valley. More information about the Montu University of African Defense can be found on Ma'at Productions, again, www.ma'atproductions.com. The Montu University of African Defense is privately taught from Dr. Amis's residence in Rancho Cucamonga, California, a small city about 40 miles outside of Los Angeles. I do not have to water down the instruction by making it commercial. We train with nature with morning workouts from 4:30 to 6 a.m. Anybody who has the discipline to train with me at that time, such a high body, spiritual intensity and commitment is bound to succeed in the martial arts and also life. Dr. Amasis Ma'at is a coach, competitor, and a black belt for over 30 years. A doctorate in the philosophy of metaphysics, will compete in the 35 to 47-year-old master black belt fighting and forms division. Amasis is a clinical perfusionist, respiratory therapist, and graduate of the Beaver Falls Senior High School near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Uribe Asante, competitor and dietary counselor, a Chicago native, is a 30-year resident of Pomona, California. Asante has spent much of his time devoted to educating the local community on maintaining healthy lifestyles through proper diet and nutrition. Currently, he serves as a major component for the community. He is a supplier for the local in-season food program and is charitable feeder of the local residents of the Pomona Valley area. Serving as a caterer, Asante shares ownership of the Carte Blanche mobile food service with his wife of 7 years, Sister Keziah. Asante will compete in the intermediate level of fighting in the 40 years and old up division at the World Games in Athens, Greece. Yours truly, Professor Salim Faraji, a native from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, graduated from Penn State University and the Claremont School of Theology, is currently a doctoral candidate in religion at the Claremont Graduate University, specializing in history of Christianity, nubiology, Ancient Egyptian Religion and Pan-African Religious Studies. He is an adjunct faculty member in religion at the University of Laverne and a contributing author to Black Religion After the Million Man March, and author of Montu Scholar, The Rebirth of Ancient Egyptian and Nubian Martial Arts. Salim will compete in the 30 years and up intermediate fighting and form divisions of the World Games in Athens, Greece. Last but of course not least, our other team member and competitor, Jason Sterling, is a 22-year-old native talent of Pomona, California. Jason Sterling holds the current world super lightweight sport kickboxing title. Sterling, already a two-time World Cup champion in extreme fighting and a 2001 Goodwill Games gold medalist, has over 400 awards and trophies from both national and international competition. Sterling began training at the age of 6, is an advanced participant in Thai karate, Kung Tao, Wing Chun, Shaolin Kempo, boxing, wrestling, judo, and various other combat styles. Sterling can be seen in his recent movie, Who's Making the Rules, which was released in February 2003. Sterling will compete in the Adult Advanced Fighting and Forms Division in the World Games 2004 at Athens, Greece. This concludes our statement for the Montu University of African Defense. We want to say hail to the gods of Africa, hail to our people, our history, our struggle, and we are resurrecting the way of the ancestors. Also, we want to share with you, to give you the opportunity, that we're all asking friends, we're asking acquaintances, colleagues, associates from all over the nation to sponsor and support us as we travel to the World Games next year. There is a gentleman by the name of Jim Arvanitis. Jim Arvanitis is well known internationally for having resurrected the ancient Greek martial art pancration. So what we're doing is very similar to what Jim Arvanitis is doing. As opposed to resurrecting pancration, we are resurrecting Montu, which actually influenced the Greek art pancration. The book is entitled Montu Scholar, The Rebirth of Ancient Egyptian and Nubian Martial Arts. Again, Montu Scholar, The Rebirth of Ancient Egyptian Martial Arts. Montu Scholar is based on the ancient Kemetic Egyptian god or Nectar or Unter Montu. Montu governs the warrior arts, military science, and embodies the principles of spirit, creative power, and focus. The way of the Montu Scholar combines spirit, intellect, and action. As such, this book is a synthesis of critical thought and inspiration, mysticism and research, narrative and fact, meditation, and the warrior arts. The book traces the history of African martial arts, from ancient Kush and Kemet to the contemporary African diasporic martial art forms of Donmi of Martinique, Capoeira of Brazil, and the African-American ram fight spoken by Frederick Douglass and other 19th century leaders. Montu Scholar offers practical exercises through the Taseti meditation and exercise system as a way for the reader to immediately begin to cultivate spirituality and health. Readers, you will find the book essential to understanding the dynamics of ancient and modern martial arts. Montu Scholar is also an excellent work, not only for martial artists, but for educators, counselors, health practitioners, religious leaders, and spiritual leaders. So I welcome you to join in and check out Montu Scholar. Again, our website is maatproductions.com, www.maatproductions.com. Thank you very much.
Detapu. This is Dr. Amasis Ma'at, co-founder of Montu's University of African Defense with Professor Salim Farajee and Uribe Asante. Missing is world champion super lightweight Jason Sterling. Well, tell you a bit about myself. I'm 44 years old, come from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Went to community college of Allegheny County, became a respiratory therapist, and went on to be a cardiovascular perfusionist, which I do that as a profession. I had childhood asthma, and one of my first martial arts instructor, Guru Willie Wetzel of Pinjak Silat, Pukulan Jamindi, Also had a school there in Beaver Falls, and he also was an asthmatic and helped train me to help overcome some of those physical ailments. And in that, he was a master instructor and helped lay my foundation. As I traveled from Beaver Falls to other places like Pittsburgh and DC and Boston and Chicago and LA, and also into Kemet, I've met plenty of other peoples that with different systems that complemented the methods that I founded with the Pukulan. And also I was in the Nation of Islam, where I was the bodyguard for Minister Farrakhan and several other dignitaries. And during that time, I came across another Grandmaster teacher, Master Steve Muhammad with the Black Karate Federation, which I incorporated his methods in Montu's University of African Defense as an affiliated school with the Black Karate Federation. So that's a synopsis of what we have as a basis, but in general we have trained also with African culture and spirituality, and that we have gone, Salim and I have both traveled to Egypt, have studied the Middle Nature and African spirituality, along with Brother Uribe with certain rites of passage groups. And we have incorporated the methods of Nuba wrestling and the deities of Montu that go to the primordial fighting methods that we have acknowledged as our ancestors in Africa are the primary and premier grand masters of all the fighting methods, that yoga and all the Indian martial arts and methods that come from the 12 people as they went around the world in the Philippines and the Negritos and the Moro lands, and all the methods that are presently the best martial arts of today have their roots to our premier grandmaster ancestors, and which is what we want to resurrect. And our mission as we go on to the World Games is to represent our ancestors and such. Not that we want to say that our martial arts are the best, albeit that we were being Africans have gone through the purging of the weak dying through the ma'afa of the slave trade, and we have been modified to be the strongest of the survivors of tragedy. Gives credit to us, our fighting skills and dancing and coordination, our physical skills, but not only just that, but we do want to recognize to the world that our ancestors are the premier grandmasters, and since there has been such tragedy of other people taking recognition of Teenage Mutant Turtles and Van Damme and Bruce Lee and everybody else being masters, and not recognizing Africa's and her descendants as the founding of the fighting and healing methods. And I do mean the healing methods because the aspect of actually being able to strike someone at a pressure point to cause injury is also the aspects of learning how to use that for healing, and for the breathing of cultivating energy for destruction, and also the breathing for cultivating health and wellness. So although the World Games is set up for sport competition, where America and the Olympics is set up for that brutality and combat, our primary methods is not that. Ours is more for vitality and health, and which we focus in on. But we were participating in the World Games primarily to get the recognition for the world for our ancestral sake. What this has done for me as far as comedic martial arts, it has given me a vehicle to expound my love for my traditions and heritage, and share this with others with like-minded spirit. And not only has it our own people come in to include the brotherhood and sisterhood in teaching this, but it has given due respect to people of other nations, because they now have to recognize, just by us performing at a high level and high caliber, that we're for real, and that they have to respect our performance. And I feel that why we need to study this method today is that we have many youth that see heroes as martial arts heroes, and so they want to participate in martial arts. But many times when you go to a martial arts school, for example, if you go to a Taekwondo school, what you would see up on the wall is an American flag and a Korean flag. Or if you see that in a Japanese Ishinryu school, or Karate Do, you'll see a Japanese flag and an American flag. And you'll see the people doing Japanese methods as well as Japanese tradition and speaking Japanese language. Well, being that we're African, and Africans are the premier Grand Masters, it would behoove us to know our own language and culture and teach methods of fighting and defense from our own bases, rather than having an African that has a black belt in Japanese Karate Do, counting in Japanese of ich, ni, san, shi, but don't know how to count their own indigenous language of ua, sum, kunt, fiju, that our ancestors would write in the hieroglyphs were in Menu Nature. So we are practicing our own culture, our own principles, our own spirituality that's connected into the basis of the fighting skills. So I want to let your other brothers here have their piece to say. Brother Uribe.
Yes, my name is Brother Uribe Asante. My age is 41 and I'm an entrepreneur. Principally, I have a hauling business here in the city of Pomona. However, I do many things in terms of business, from selling car parts to swap meet parts to soliciting for advertising in our current Black Business Directory. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, Cook County Hospital, and I have been practicing Kemetic martial arts for approximately 2 years and a few months. I've made it to Yellow Belt Second Stripe. And what it has done for me, to mention just a few things, is Kemetic martial arts has increased my strength physically. When I first signed up, I could only do 16 push-ups. Now I'm up to about 100. So that's one thing Kemetic martial arts has done for me. Discipline in terms of getting up early in the morning, being punctual at 4:30 and working out as many times at 3:30 in the morning as a sign is challenging, and so that discipline has been there and it's helping me to be disciplined in other tasks. And I really feel that African martial arts is important to African people because it teaches us how to defend ourselves. And we never know, as one writer was saying, I think it was Martin Luther King, as a matter of fact, Jr., he said we walk around on tiptoe stands because we never know what's going to happen. And he said that back in the 60s, and it's still current in 21st century. So this martial art training has taught me how to fight so that if someone wants to accost me, I will be able to defend myself most generally. And so let them come. The rebate's ready.
Echapu again. My name is Brother Salim Faraji, and I'm 34 years old. I'm currently a doctoral candidate, nearly complete. I'll be ABD, all but dissertation, in about 3 months. I'll begin writing my dissertation. So prayerfully, I should be Dr. Salim Faraji in about 12 to 15 months, working on, again, history of Christianity, ancient Nubian studies, Kemetic studies, as well as Pan-African religious studies, or the study of religions in the African diaspora. Not only the Nile Valley, but wherever African people are. In Brazil, we do Candomblé, we do Vodun in Haiti, we do Santeria in Cuba, and so forth, and the like. So I study the spiritual practices of African people throughout the world. Again, I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I went to Penn State University. I did my undergraduate degree at Penn State in social science, behavioral science, and I did my graduate work at the Claremont School of Theology here in Southern California in the Los Angeles area. So I've been training in Kemetic martial arts for a little over 2 years, maybe almost 2.5 years. Basically, I came in to martial arts not through a conscious decision really to learn how to fight. I had a health crisis almost 3 years ago that dealt with my heart, and that frightened me, and as a result, it compelled me to begin to rededicate my life to some spiritual practices. So I came into martial arts rededicating myself to meditation, breathing, and other spiritual practices that some people call yoga in the Indian tradition and so forth. So as a result, that led me into martial arts, a commitment to spiritual culture and spiritual practice. And then I met this gentleman, this brother here, who's my martial arts instructor, Dr. Amasis Mad, and the brother decided to take me on as a student, begin to train me, teach me how to fight, how to employ basic self-defense techniques, and not only that, how to resurrect and restore the Kemetic practices. So we study the Medu we study the famous, what is known as the Beni Hassan tombs. We also study the postures and techniques of the various Neteru, or deities of ancient Kemet. So because I'm a historian, I came into martial arts from this route. And what has martial arts done for me? Martial arts has done a great deal for me personally. I've recently been going through a personal crisis in terms of a divorce, so it's helped me to stay emotionally stable, emotionally sound. It's encouraged me, it's strengthened me. So psychologically and emotionally, it has given me tremendous strength. It's given me discipline, focus that has transferred into other areas of my life. Physically, I've become stronger. I've become quicker, faster, like my brother Uribe here. We're now doing 75 to 100 push-ups. My sparring, my self-defense techniques, things of that nature have improved. So really what it's done for me, which really what this book talks about, is it has refined my intellect, it has refined my spirituality, and it has also begun to refine my body. So both my intellect, my spirit, and my body are now working in harmony and unity. And that's the primary reason why I think the Montu tradition, or African martial arts, needs to be resurrected among African people. Number one, it gives us a sense of sovereignty, a sense of independence, a sense of self-defining, self-determining consciousness. It cultivates our spirit, it cultivates our intellect, it cultivates our body, and not only that, it roots us in our ancestral tradition and in our ancestral identity. It also communicates to us that we are second to no people. We are second to no people. We are no one's pawns, we are no one's peons, we are no one's paupers. In fact, we are the sovereign ones. So what I get from doing martial arts is something that a group of us have come up recently with: sovereign mind, sovereign body. Sovereignty. That's the word for me. For me, in the 21st century, African people must move towards sovereignty. And this is what martial arts has taught me. As well as leadership and administration, martial arts now has led me to begin to think about forming companies and forming organizations. What it does is it resurrects and ignites in you the spirit of the falcon, of the hawk, the spirit of Haru, like the brother was saying today, the superhero, like Matrix Reloaded, Neo, going into your mind and defending Zion, so to speak, as the movie goes. But again, what I'm simply saying is it teaches us to be heroes, to be defenders, to be sovereign, and to demand that respect throughout the world, demand that dignity throughout the world. I want to give a shout out to all the brothers and sisters in Pittsburgh. I'm not unfamiliar to Pittsburgh, being that I'm from southeastern Pennsylvania, so I want to give a shout out to you all. I've been all throughout the Pittsburgh area. I want to give a shout out to those of you in the other parts of the East Coast, Philly, New York, Washington, D.C. And in fact, I want to give a shout out to wherever African people are. No matter where we are in the world, I give a shout out. I give a shout out to our ancestors, and I give a shout out to those to come. A shout out to my daughter who's standing here, the young ones. I give a shout out to all of us, because we need a shout out. We need to encourage one another and not condemn one another. So again, I want to thank you for this time. I want to thank you for Montu, listening for Montu University of African Defense.
One other thing, which is great, thank you, brother, is that Montu's University of African Defense was pretty much founded by myself and two other brothers. and I'm just a co-founder. And our vision, our slogan was the protectors of the African womb. And being that ideally, once brothers get themselves together and through Montu training, this is one way we get ourselves together, is that once brothers get themselves together, then they can really start to protect the queen, the African womb being the motherland and the representative of the motherland being the sisterhood. So as we develop our minds and bodies and spirits, we're able to protect our women. And as Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad would say, a nation can rise no higher than its woman. So that's our focus, protecting the motherland and on our mothers of her children and our mothers of herself. As we envision that we will come home with the gold. We're going to strive, and we're getting up at 4:30. We're getting up earlier to start training at 4:30. And from there, we're definitely going to have victory.
That's right.
All these things we need because we want to make sure that we bring home the gold. And it's not just for ourselves or our ego. We're dedicating this much beyond that. We're bringing this home for our people. We're bringing the gold home for the people of the sun. And since we are here in America, we're Africans living in America, we will be representing the United States National Martial Arts Team Alliance. So we'll be bringing the gold back to America, but we'll be putting our black fist up. And of course, you notice the red, black, and green on the belt. And with such, we also look at how martial arts has been diversified. And we would like to envision Montu's University of African Defense being a credentialing body. As we develop and doing well in the World Games and going into the Olympics for the World Games in 2004 and Olympics in 2008, and that will be held in China. We plan on participating in China again, and as well as bringing up other folks and affiliates in with us and going to China and taking on the world then again and winning. We plan to continue this momentum on and having the Montu University as a credentialing body, not just for martial arts, but in particular indigenous African martial arts around the world, being that Africans have spread around the world and do African methods in America, in London, in the Caribbean. We want to be able to have the university have various colleges so that those people that specialize in their particular method can be the master or dean of that particular college within the whole Montu's University. So we invite you to participate with us and join us and support us. So, any other comments?
We'll close in our traditional school greeting.
Hetapu.
Hetapu.
Montu live.
Hetapu.
Hetapu.
Montu lives again.
We at KMT feel it was an honor to have presented the program you have just witnessed. Hopefully you find it interesting, informative, and enlightening. Let us hear from you. Please direct your questions, comments, observations, and or concerns to Kaumba Media Television Network, care of B.E. Barnes, 6393 Penn Avenue, number 180. Pittsburgh, PA 15206. Be sure to identify the Pacific program
Montu lives again.